Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here. Today we get to talk about something every human being wonders about at some point. Heaven. And not the cartoon version, not the misty clouds or the harp music, but the real biblical vision of heaven God gives us in Revelation. And as we walk through this, I want you to hear John's words not as distant ideas, but as a window into your future. Because Revelation 21 and 22 are not giving you a travel brochure for heaven. They're giving you a picture of the kind of person you will become when you're finally home with God. Let's start with John's vision. Revelation 21, 1 through 4 says, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. That's an unbelievable promise. But John is doing more than describing scenery. He's describing community, the kind of people who will be there and the kind of person you will be. Because what makes heaven heaven isn't the landscaping, it isn't the weather, it isn't the architecture. What makes heaven heaven is who you will be with and who you will become. Revelation 21:9 says, come with me. I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. Who's the bride? It's us, the people of God. In other words, the angel says, let me show you what God's people will one day look like. This whole section is not describing wallpaper and flooring. It's describing you transformed. So here's where we're going today. According to Revelation, there are 4 things you will become in heaven. So let's walk through them one by one. First, in heaven, you will be thoroughly joyful. Revelation 21:4 says he will wipe every tear from their eyes. Not most tears, not many tears, every tear. Think of the hurts you carry right now. The ones time just hasn't healed. The ones counseling or community or prayer have helped but not erased. Some hurts simply don't fully heal in this life. But Scripture says the day is coming when God himself will look you in the eye and wipe every tear away. Not symbolically, literally, personally. Paul adds this in Romans 8:18. What we suffer now is nothing compared to the glory he will reveal to us later. Paul isn't minimizing suffering. He suffered more than almost anybody. He's saying that when the glory of God hits your life in eternity, your suffering will be so outmatched that it won't even register on the scale. That's your future. Thorough, deep, overflowing joy forever. Second, in heaven, you will be unbelievably productive. Now, a lot of people imagine heaven like an eternal retirement village, sitting around, floating, not much happening. And if that were true, some of you would think I'd last maybe 2 days. But Revelation 22:5 says, and they will reign forever and ever. We will reign. We will participate in God's creative work. This goes back to Genesis. We were always meant to partner with God, to steward creation, to build, create, imagine, solve, lead, contribute. Heaven doesn't erase that calling. Heaven fulfills it. Your gifts, every ounce of creativity, intelligence, leadership, humor, problem solving will finally function at full capacity. Matthew 25 says that one day the master will say, well done, I will put you in charge of many things. In other words, the job you were made for begins in eternity. You won't be bored. You won't be restless. You won't be passive. You'll be fully alive, fully engaged, fully productive. All right, third, in heaven, you will be morally flawless. And John 3:19 says people prefer darkness because of sin. We hide, we struggle, we carry habits we wish we could change. But Revelation 21:23 says the glory of God illuminates the city and the Lamb is its light. And Revelation 22:5 adds, there will be no night there. No darkness, no hiding, no shame, no impulse towards sin, no self-sabotage, no part of you that works against the person you want to be. God says, I'm making everything new. That includes you. In eternity, you will become the fullest, purest, most radiant version of yourself, the version God dreamed of when he created you. And not only will you be made new, God says that you will be his treasure. Just like the high priest carried the tribes on his chest, God will carry you on his heart. You will be fully known and deeply delighted in. And fourth, in heaven, you will be completely fulfilled. Revelation 22, 1 and 2 shows us a river of life and a tree of life with fruit in every season. 12 kinds of fruit, meaning wholeness, abundance, total satisfaction. This is not a description of heaven's menu. This is a description of heaven's fullness. Every desire that went unmet here, every dream that died here, every part of you that longed for more here will be fully satisfied in the presence of God. And here's the best part. God will be there. Revelation 22:4 says, they will see his face. Think about that. People travel across the world to see oceans and mountains and canyons, but one day you will see the Creator himself, the one behind all the beauty. And you won't see him for a moment. You will experience him forever. Every chapter will be better than the one before. That's eternity. Okay, a final word. John closes with a sober reminder. Not everyone chooses this life with God. Heaven is real, but so is a Christless eternity, which is why your invitations, your conversations, your six-packs at Christmas, your simple obedience matter. You never know whose eternity God may open through your courage. C.S. Lewis once wrote about heaven like this. He said, all their life in this world had only been the cover and the title page. Now at last they were beginning chapter 1 of the great story in which every chapter is better than the one before. That's your destiny. Thorough joy, unbelievable productivity, moral wholeness, complete fulfillment, life with God forever. All right, this should make for some pretty good conversation. I'm going to hand this over to your host, who's going to lead you into discussion.